All right. Part 2 now. Let's see if we can get this code to compile and work. Oh, and we're supposed to be using CoPilot, so let's do it with CoPilot. Back to, I should put OBS Studio on a different screen. So this line was weird. I said, what's up with that line? And then we can go to, we'll just go to CoPilot. We'll ask it. If I can find the window. And is that it? Yes, this is it. Okay. Okay. So we don't need to say okay. That's silly. Don't need to look at platform IO. Main.cpp. We want to tell it. Somehow characters don't seem to be making it into the what do we call it? The input. Any clues? Being reinitialized in each iteration of the loop function. Well, that would do it. All right. Text input, indeed. All right. That should be outside the loop. That might be all there is to it. Does it have more to say about it? Yeah. All right. Let's try it now. Of course, we can't get those commands in there, so I have to, once again. The goal is to eventually not have to unplug this thing and plug it back in anymore, because that's pretty annoying. Ugh. Did I plug it in right? That felt weird. Okay. Should be ready to program now. But that was nice. I mean, I could have figured that out, but I would have had to kind of scan through the whole thing, and it just figured it out right away. Hey, look at there. We can backspace. Foobar baz. Can we control A and delete? The delete doesn't work. Control K. Unhandled key 11. Control K is apparently 11. But anyway, in the meantime, we can backspace. So some of the keys just don't, like delete. The delete key doesn't make it in here at all, apparently. And arrow keys also don't do anything. There might be a p-link setting that makes them work, or maybe we could try it in Putty and see if there's a difference. This is COM6, I think. Maybe Putty will be able to send more keys. Oh, there's okay. COM7 or COM6, and yeah, don't think the baud rate matters. What was it? 115/200. Yeah, that looks familiar. All right, so here we go. So if we say blah 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 blah, Control A, Control K, delete. Oh. So in Putty, at least by default, delete sends 126. And I know there's settings to change this kind of stuff. Terminal keyboard, the backspace key sends 127. How about the delete key? Doesn't say anything about the delete key. Wonder what's in our code. Delete. 127. Oh, have to get out of the settings here. Okay, 127 seems to be backspace. What was 8? Control E. Okay, delete seems to be 126. Whatever. Maybe. I mean, obviously these can be handled in different ways. Hence that putty screen. From forward. Okay. Delete according to putty with default settings. A ding. All right. But now what we can do is we can enter an unknown command, or we could enter a bunch of crap, hit Control A, and we can insert stuff. We could comment it out. Oh, except we're not handling comments. You know what I should do? Is I should say handle command, do command. I'm already trimming it, but it could be. But if command is empty, should we be using STD strings or should we be using Arduino strings? I don't know. They have a similar interface. Yeah, return. It filled that in for me. If command, can we? Yep, exactly. Thank you. So we can put the thing into bootloader mode now. Notice, yes, we already have a somewhat reasonable command thing. It can print stuff out, but then it always shows you what you've entered there at the bottom. Maybe not super reliably. If the command was longer than what it's printing, I think it would stick out the side and be kind of ugly. Really, I should, there's VT escape sequences that'll like set the part of the window that scrolls and stuff. I used to know about that stuff. I had the book, I had the VT100 book. But this thing is working well enough that we can put it back into bootloader mode without having to unplug the Pi Pico W, which is very nice. All right. Restart session. Hi there. Oh, backspace works now. This is great. Foo, Control A, and the cursor doesn't show at the right place. Oh, that's not right. I think this might be, like, why is it doing that? Why? How does that happen? I did say 126. If it's 126, room forward. Oh, here we got arrow keys. Well, you know what? We can ask CoPilot about this. That's what this video is supposed to be about. It always wants to default to, because I have some file open in the main window. I should just make that be main.cpp. All right. And then we don't actually need to look at it. We just need it to be there in that window. All right, main.cpp current file. Yes, do that. Somehow when I hit delete in putty, what ends up on the screen is, what were we seeing? is square bracket. Yeah, that's weird. It's auto-completing the other bracket. It did, right? It says, oh, actually, all right, there's the problem. It gets this whole sequence. 91, 51, 126. And you can see there what I'm talking about. I'm not clearing the line. Let's do some backspacing. 91, 51, 126. As far as I sure. Only F 91, 51. What are those, and how should I handle them? And the escape sequence to represent arrow keys and other special keys. Specifically, the left arrow key. Handle these escape sequence, you need to read the entire sequence and interpret it correctly. Here's an updated version. Okay, so what we want to do we'll redo this request, but in edit with CoPilot, which goes into this window, I think. Okay, where's edit with CoPilot? I guess we go over here. All right, here we go. All right, this will handle the stuff for the stuff. And where did it put it? Yes, the code handles. Okay, so update. Oh, right. Okay, so this is what we clicked that button in here. We clicked this button, and it's pasted this into the Edit with Copilot window, different window. Although it also has the chat stuff. Update the correctly for arrow keys and actually. Yeah, I already. That was a while ago. What is exactly it doing here? Remove the obsolete. No, can I? Okay. What I want to do now is tell the Edit with Copilot what I actually want to do. Working set, add files, Edit with Copilot. All right, here we go. Now we'll tell. Update, what was the function called? There's a function in here that's kind of embarrassing. We don't need my function. Get rid of that. Oh, I'm not looking at the right window. Let's get rid of my function. All right, so the function that we want to update is TextInput handle. Go back to this guy. Update to properly handle escape sequences for arrow and delete keys. Okay. And then it's generating the changes. And if we look at main, we can see it kind of working its way through. It added 24 lines, subtracted 3. Let's look at it. Escape sequence equals false. Static bool. Let's see what it's doing. We'll change that to like a instance variable in a minute. Same with this. Okay, so it says add, if it's in an escape sequence, add this to the buffer. And then you can look at the buffer and see what you got. Yeah, and I don't do anything with up or down, so there you go. Nice little comment. Move the cursor left or right. Escape buffer. Now there are other escape sequences, right? It didn't like my 127. It thought that was wrong, I guess. Now we say accept that. Now that accepted all of it. You can't just say accept part of it. Okay, so this stuff, I want to, can we tell CoPilot, can we go to CoPilot with this and be like, hey, CoPilot. All right, now we have to go back here. Please move at some point I'm going to run out of edits. I'm on the free tier of CoPilot. So that was kind of a waste of one because I could have done that easily enough myself. That looks correct. That looks correct. That looks correct. Better way to use this would be to say, are there other escape sequences that should be ignored? Add code to properly ignore them. That should be ignored for now. And it's thinking again. What did it come up with? It added one line. Escape buffer.length is greater than 2. I'm not sure if that's really right. I mean, we'll accept it, but actually, no, that's stupid. This might be a good time to go over to chat. Escape sequence. Okay, so if we say, well, whatever. I'll just put a note to myself, to do right handle or ignore other escape sequences. Thank you for writing my sentence for me, CoPilot. All right, let's try this program again. Where's the run button? I'm looking for the, oh, of course, first I need to put my thing into bootloader mode. What? COM6. Access is denied. Did the port change? Oh, right, it's in PuTTY. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong window. This is alive and well. So we say backspace, and bootload. I can get rid of that timeout. There's not really any point to that. I have it say 4, 3, 2, 1, and then do bootloading. So as long as we're here, main.cpp, bootloading in we'll delay 1 second just to give you some warning something's about to happen. All right, run the new program. I mean, compile it and write it to the thing. Oh my gosh, can I split this to its own window? I want to move the CoPilot edit session to its own. Move to, now you can move the chat to its own window, but it doesn't seem like you can move the edits, chat, edit. Where's my other window? New chat. So now I'm looking at the chat window. Open CoPilot edits. Like, I guess that has to be in the main window because it needs the context. And the context is, can I move? Maybe I could move the terminal to its own window. What's this button? New terminal. Move to, nope, this apparently has to be in here. I gotta get a giant monitor just because stupid Visual Studio Code can't, okay, no, that's fine, but can't split things to different windows as much as I'd like. I don't really need this open. I can free up some space, get rid of the Explorer, and what is this? What even is this? Oh, these are the different, okay. Make it so there's only one terminal, and then the terminal selection pane goes away and saves some real estate. All right, new program is written. I think, unless it did it fail to compile? Failed. LD. Oh, my function. We still have that crap in there. My function. Ah, we declared it. Yeah, it removed the obsolete stuff. We don't need to, yes, I know about setup and loop. Interesting thing about Platform IO is when you want to program the Pi Pico with it, it still uses the Arduino like framework. Hence having a setup and a loop and Arduino.h and Arduino streams and strings and things, which is fine with me because I'm familiar with that stuff. Then, you know, the question comes up, do I use a Arduino string or an STD string? I don't know. Guess it should be an Arduino string because why have both of them in here? Anyway, we got rid of the references to my function, so let's try compiling again. Looks good. Restart session. Hi there. Unknown command, hi there. Foo, that's a comment. It handled the command by not doing anything because it was a comment. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Of course, the cursor is in the wrong position. So that's the next thing I'm going to want to figure out is how to move the cursor. And this is a great thing to ask CoPilot to do for me. Yeah, why not? Ask CoPilot. Next thing to change is how can we move the cursor to the correct position after drawing the prompt on the screen? ANSI escape codes, yes. Well and good. Cursor position is less than text length. I mean, I don't think it needs to be less than text length. But basically, this is the magic thing here. Is we write escape, which is shown as \033 open brace, the place where we want to put it, and then a D, and I guess that will move the cursor. So where is it that we draw the prompt here? What was the suggestion? Let's do that. No, that's not what we want. That's some weird thing that it made up. Text length, text input, get text, get length, minus cursor position. Oh, this is how, okay, so we've written out the line. Now we move it back relative by that amount. Minus text input, get cursor position. And finish that with a semicolon, of course. All right, so we write the escape sequence. I left out the if it's fine if it's 0. I don't care if it's 0. You can still do it. Just won't do anything, right? Type bootload into our window to put the thing back into bootloader mode. Hit the go button in platform IO, which recompiles and writes the thing onto my... One thing I did, I guess this might be worth noting in here, is that in platform IO, you can tell it where to write the firmware file, which when you're using the Raspberry Pi Pico, the way that you rewrite your program, it has built-in firmware that is in ROM. You can't mess it up. And when you hold down the button, the boot select button, and then connect it, it powers up into bootloader mode, where it just connects as a mass storage device, and then you can write a file onto that mass storage device, and then that's your new firmware, and then it reboots and runs whatever you told it to run. Like it's like firmware on top of the firmware. It's like not the low-level firmware. It's it's your program. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I went into disk management and told Windows that when this thing is plugged in and is a mass storage device, to put it in a C/volume/rpi/rp2. Somebody, Platform IO recommended that as a default, so I went with it. Just because that way I don't have to worry about it like picking a random drive letter, and having it change and accidentally like writing a firmware file to some thumb drive that has nothing to do with it. So it's always in the same place. The thing that's not great is that this is part of my Platform IO INI file, which is, that's kind of a deployment specific setting. It doesn't seem like it should be checked in with the project. Someday I'll ask ChatGPT or CoPilot to fix that. But at the moment, I just want to see if our cursor moving code works. ASD123 doesn't seem to be able to put it at the end. Oh, key 11. Key 11, Control K. I hit Control K. I wanted to delete from there to the end when I hit Control K. And so that was 11. If K equals 11, do you think CoPilot knows what this is? What should I do, CoPilot? Yes, clear to end. That is what I want to do. Anyway, what else do we want to do? I guess I could ask it about that. No, I want to get this done first. Okay. So let's go back to chat and ask it what that escape code actually does. All right. What does the escape open bracket number capital D escape sequence do? And this moves the cursor to the left by the specified number of columns. Yes, I know that's the escape character. It's breaking it down here. The escape character, open bracket, introduces the control sequence. The number specifies the number of columns to move, and D is the command to move the cursor left. So Why currently am I unable to get the cursor to the end of the line? And let's make sure that it, like, is it deleting characters A, S, D? Well, delete is not working at all right now, but it is, the arrow keys are working. And it, yeah, okay, it seems like I'm unable to move the cursor to the end of the line. So maybe that's a thing with the terminal that I'm going to have to work around by putting a space there or something. Is this a feature of the terminal? Should I append a space to the end of the prompt so that the cursor can be moved there? Or is there a more elegant, of course, there was a more elegant approach. You only do it if this is not 0, which is, so it knew what it was doing. Text input is less, only do it in that case. Correct. All right. $27.91.51, 126. Let's handle that. That's the delete key. That's what pops up. 27.91.51. All right. Oh, when I hit delete, I get, now is this already in the code? 27 escape buffer. Okay, we don't have, okay, we can go to edit, the CoPilot edit view, which is over here. Add handling for the delete key, which comes across from putty as, what do we call it, characters, and we'll do it again. 2791, 2791, 51, 126. Then go back and fix the things that I typed wrong. Twenty-one, 91, 51, 126. All right, if it's open bracket 3 tilde, that's what that is, huh? Yep, looks correct. Okay, and that was wrong. That's why it keeps deleting these things for me, because it's not 126. It's actually a whole escape sequence that just ends with 126. All right, we made some nice changes, right? Does Control K work? Unhandled key 11. Have I not rebooted this thing since I added that? Maybe not. So we go to end, delete it. All right. Delete, delete. Bootload. And reprogram. I feel like I made several changes there. I should maybe do things more one at a time, but I don't know. Does this thing have a limited number of rewrite cycles? Probably. Don't want to burn it out. How's the rewriting going? It's already done. Okay, let's restart the terminal session. ASD123, Control A, Control K. Oh, beautiful. Hello, world. Control A, insert a, a hash. Make this line a comment. Control E goes to the end. Ha ha ha. As long as that's why you have to not do that escape sequence to move the cursor, because it doesn't like to put it past the end of the text. But if it's already past the end of the text, it's fine. So if it's 0, you don't bother with it because that messes things up. Bootload. Handling command comment bootload. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. This is great. Put it into bootloader mode because that's the only command that does anything, right? I could add an echo command maybe. That would I'd have to do some tokenization and stuff. All right, let's git commit this. Don't need to be in here. That's extra at this point. And I'm going to write in my devlog that I am making some cool videos. Devlog. Made CoPilot help me write code to handle ANSI escape sequences for moving the cursor around, which was actually very helpful because I don't have all the escape sequences memorized, and it does. This is the kind of thing where CoPilot or any of these LLMs really shine, I guess, is one, just generating a bunch of stuff. It's like about what it needs to do. You just don't want to type it all. And 2, referencing, figuring out what escape codes to use, things like that. I will write that in here. It is very good at generating a bunch of stuff. Tedious code. Tedious but trivial code. Especially if you can give it a skeleton to work with. Trivial refactorings. Change statics to be instance variables. And what was that other thing? Stuff that would require me to Google around for reference materials like ANSI escape codes. I would have to do it in multiple steps, which would be annoying, whereas here I just asked it to do it and it looks it up. And implements it all in one swoop, Yeah. Duh. You don't have to sit here and watch me. Although I wonder, can we ask CoPilot for a summary of what has been done this evening in this session? Generate a summary of what I have asked you to do during this session and what we have accomplished. Let's see what it can come up with. I don't know how much it knows about, like, like what the session is, right? Initial request. Okay, so I asked it to do the thing, platform IO. I asked it if readline was available. It had a suggestion for something called like command runner, which was not helpful because that was just about tokenizing commands, and that's not what I'm trying to do here. Text input class implementation. It helped me figure out what was wrong with that. Oh yeah, that's another thing it's good at. Finding the cause of fixing stupid mistakes, like something being initialized inside a loop instead of outside. Something it's good at. cursor positioning, escape sequence explanation. So this is pretty good. Like it's actually, this is accurate. It's giving me an accurate summary of what we did here together. Escape sequence handling. I mean, this is not, it's not a good summary. I mean, it's broken up in a stupid way. It's not tasteful, but it is accurate. This is stuff we did. Awesome. All right, I'm going to commit this now. And I'm going to break this up into get CoPilot. Get CoPilot to help me write a text input, serial text input class. This is very boring. Okay. Yes. Did I already? Yeah. Okay. Get add minus u, get diff minus cache. This is how we do it. Serial command.h. No, there's no serial command.h. I don't want that in there. That's the thing that we added that is not necessary. Go back to serial command. I didn't think I had serial command in here. I thought I deleted that. Libdeps. So I removed serial command from platformio.ini, but it's still in here. So can I just, I don't know. I'm going to ask CoPilot about this. Why not? Where did it go? Where did the window go? I removed serial command as a dependency, but its source code is still hanging around in the project folder. Which would have been problematic if I didn't remove the reference to the header file, right? Because it shouldn't be in the project folder. And I think if I compiled this from scratch, it wouldn't go download it, right? Hang around in the project folder. Can I tell platform.io to clean that up? It's not automatically removed unused library source. You can manually clean up the project by deleting the lib folder. All right, we can just delete the whole libdeps. Yeah, make clean or something. Delete. All right, and then if we tell platform.io to run the thing again, it'll probably try to recompile. And it can't write it because I didn't put it in the bootloader mode. Maybe I should. Oh, no, it is in bootloader mode. Because that was the last thing we did to show that the command worked. Unknown command, echo hi there. That's correct. We haven't programmed that yet. All right. Back to get diffing. Upload, updated that, and why are there all these? Has this always been a Windows coded file? CRLF. I guess so. I don't want it to be, but I'll change that in a separate commit. Handle text input using text input. Good enough. And this thing. Title. Thus endeth part 2.